Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Wrestlemaniacs back at you following Wrestlemania Night 1 2025. It is myself, the People's Choice, John Rodriguez, in combination with the Nubian Sumo, who's lighting up one after that finish for the main event. And then we got this guy who wants to talk about his well, no, I guess we'll just say he's traumatized by what just happened at the main event of the evening. Sumo, how you feel?
Oh.
Sam,
all right.
What's up? Jesse, what's up? All right, so just to get him out of here, because you're all up in my business, go ahead and tell the people how you feel about the main event of night 1.
So, how I feel is I did not know those tables can break, because when CM Punk got put through the table, I did not know that it could break. Second of all, when Paul Heyman gave CM Punk the chair, he low blowed CM Punk and then gave the chair to Roman Reigns back, and Roman Reigns was about to slam the chair into Seth freaking Rollins, and then he low blowed Seth freaking Rollins and then gave him the match.
How you feel about that?
Honestly, I don't know.
See? And that is the epitome of where the WWE universe is. Now, had you been watching the Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs, you would have known that we now get out of here. Now we talked about that already. We pretty much laid that out for you. We saw the writing on the wall.
Defects on this man.
Well, I would have been an RKO if I could, but that would have taken out the laptop. But you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But there you have it. Paul Heyman, double swerve, rolling out with Seth Rollins. A new future for Monday Night Raw. What's your thoughts on that, Sumo?
Well, we kind of knew it was going to happen. You know, it was inevitable. Mm-hmm. Why go back to Roman Reigns? Why go back to Punk? Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt
twice.
Why not? Yeah, twice. Yeah. So why not go with somebody an unknown, somebody you haven't been with yet? Seth Rollins.
So let's paint the picture here. What do you see the landscape? Before we talk, we'll cover everything else that happened tonight. But what do you see the landscape, the roadmap for Seth Rollins' character now that he's with Paul Heyman? What's the end game? What are we looking to accomplish?
The end game is him going after Cody. Now, okay. Now, it's a long line to Cody because, I mean, with a few things happening tonight, you know, the line just got longer to get to Cody. So, but that brings up a lot of different contenders for him to work with, and he needs people to, you know, bring over to bring over his way. So, you know, it worked out for him.
Sam,
we'll see how it goes, though.
Sam calling you to the table. The rerun episode, you just talk about how you never wear, on average, the same shirt twice or back to back. And a rerun episode had you having the same shirt on. Just calling you to the table there, Sumo.
I never said I never wore the same shirt twice or back to back, and this is the same shirt I wore last. This was the same shirt I wore yesterday.
No, you said it. You did say it like you don't wear the same shirt in succession. You know, you may wear the shirt again.
I did say that I wear shirts again in rotate for reasons. I have reasons to wear my shirts more than once. So yeah, I'd never say that I'll never wear the same shirt twice because that's stupid.
Well, I guess a lot of people are hurting right now, so that's why you wore the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, no, actually, it was the first one on top of the pile.
Oh, okay.
And
Laundry won out on that one.
Anything specific?
Laundry won out on that one. But yeah, you are right, Jesse. With Seth selling his soul, he's a career line stepper. But Triple H could only get you so far with the Authority. Paul Heyman can get you to the next stratosphere if curated right. So if the end game is Cody, we got the long line. So that means next WrestleMania, are we looking at Cody versus Seth, or is it Seth v. Roman? How long is it going to take? Because you got two people that's got to get their receipt for this. They need that pound of flesh back.
From what I've read, it's supposed to be Punk versus Roman at SummerSlam
for the opportunity to face Seth.
Yeah, because then they're gonna work. They're gonna have, like I said, they're gonna have Seth maybe go over to because the draft's coming up.
Yep.
So they're gonna probably separate Seth from Punk and Roman, have them two go at it for a while, to kind of keep the storyline going, and then have Seth maybe come over and try to deal with Cody.
Okay.
Or just go after somebody else and just establish his new character, build up his new character or his new gimmick or whatever. And maybe toward the fall of winter, maybe you'll see Seth Rollins going up against either Punk or Roman, or they may run this three-way back. We don't know.
Yeah.
So,
do you think Seth should change his intro? Because that's the one thing that would be an oddball situation with Paul Heyman.
I thought he was going to change it when they went to black during this entrance.
Right. I was thinking something too. It was like, what's happening here?
I thought they were going to make a change to his entrance, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him do something new for as far as an entrance for him. Something different. Especially since usually with a heel character, you don't want them back. You don't want them celebrating you like they celebrate Seth now. So, I mean, for him, all that music. Because remember when they did it to Shinsuke Nakamura, they turned Shinsuke Nakamura heel and changed his music to where they took the crowd out of it.
Yep.
So we may see that coming up. So I don't know. You never know. They may keep his music like that. I mean, they were saying they were still and they were still singing to his music when after the match was over. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I do like the nod to Shawn Michaels with the all white. When he transitioned to that. But did you notice the Jesus reference?
Yeah,
on the glasses.
Yeah,
the crown of thorns was like, okay. I mean, they're pretty much telling you what's happening.
Without the sharpshooter, of course, the sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So nobody talk about that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody care about that.
Everybody cares about that.
That was a quick notation from the big guy KG sliding in saying that technically from the picks, the Nubian Sumo has won. I don't know which one that is.
No. He says I'm up one, and I have no losses today. So my picks were perfect today.
Nobody asked you all that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What did I miss? Did I vote for Tiffany Stratton? Or I go Charlotte. That has to be.
Yeah, you voted. Yeah, you voted for Tiffany because you were back. You were jumping off of mine. You were
no. I said it first.
You said it first, but come on, you've been talking about Charlotte.
Jumping off of you. I said it first because of what that promo.
You said it first because he told you to go first. That's why you said it first.
No. I said it first, or I said Tiffany because of Charlotte had that she fucked up moment. So I don't know which one I would have missed. I think that may be we gonna have to look at.
Well, when we go through the matches, we'll figure it out.
We'll have to, I don't remember who I picked.
I kind of sort of do, but go ahead.
Well, we did have
Like
a match in there that wasn't really assigned, and that was Rey Fenix. We're going to talk about the first match at the end. So,
yeah, go ahead. We'll get to it.
Because I mean that's the obvious, but we do want to celebrate it. But we'll touch base on everything else. End up with the first match of the night. But the Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano, we didn't pick for that one, right? Because it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio.
We did pick because we didn't know Mysterio was going to be out prior. But we all picked Grande Americano anyway.
Okay, so that wasn't it.
That wasn't
it. You think of that match? I thought it was really good. Whoever is under the mask really acclimated to that lucha libre style, and it was a good match. I was pleasantly surprised.
It's Chad Gable. Stop playing.
Allegedly.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can't gaslight that one.
Don't do that.
Don't
do that.
Okay. Well, it could be Gable Chad that is under the mask. So that could be a thing.
Or is it the new persona of Juan Cena?
Could be. We'll never see it. Well, after about 10 more months, then we'll really never see it. But unless that's a swerve, movie deal falls through, be like, you know what, I lied. I'm giving y'all one more year, about 4 more dates or something like that.
Damn, they didn't renew Peacekeeper. Damn,
they didn't. I thought they did. Oh, you just saying that in jest?
I'm saying.
Don't you play around with that. That's the only thing in the DCU right now that I really am looking forward to, unless they surprise me with that daggone Superman movie. But I don't know. I'm sick of reboots of the reboots of the reboots. It's like, God dang, Batman and Spider-Man is like, can they just get past the beginning and just be the character? But that's a whole nother beef. So I thought it was a really good match. Rey Fenix looked really good. I mean, it was just a solid, good lucha libre mask.
Yeah, it was a good match.
I'm talking about the mask. That daggone, Grande Americano. I want that mask.
Nah.
You don't want it? It was well constructed.
Mm-mm.
It's got a zipper in the back. Thought that was a little modern. And
Ray's had the zippers in the back.
Has he?
Yeah.
Well, that was for the whole suit, though, right?
No, he sometimes has. It depends. He stopped doing the strings a long time ago, so it's either a full pullover or it's a zipper in the back.
Okay. Rey Mysterio always out there doing his thing. So then, I guess speaking of that match, Rey Mysterio. So I'm assuming that it's a work that he was injured, all to set up Rey Fenix. Do you think?
No, he said he. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was. I really can't say.
What's up, V? Welcome to the mothership.
What's happening, V? Yeah, I can't really say if whether it was a work or a shoot. As far as he was concerned, they said he got hurt during the 6-man match last night.
Right.
So on SmackDown. So who knows? I mean, they're saying that the Bailey spot was a work.
Right.
So they're saying that the Bailey spot has been in work since for the past few weeks, and that it was set up this way for Valkyria to have to get another partner for tomorrow. So who knows?
Sam, we need to get paid for this, but we'll plug it. We'll plug it, Sam. You owe us like $350. Sam's talking about the Indianapolis Square Circle Expo 425. The only third-time Hall of Famer, Bret the Hitman Hart, Arn Anderson, Bobby Lashley, Brother Brutai, Brutus Beefcake, Candice Michelle, Chavo Guerrero, Dee Malenko, Eric Bischoff, Jacqueline Moore will be all at the Indianapolis Square Circle Expo that we're not getting paid for, but we'll plug it because we like wrestling and all those people that I just named involved. So if you're going to be out there in the area, or if you just wanted to go and meet a bunch of legends, there you go. Shameless commercial. Give my money, Sam. $350. All right, so to me, the most anticipated match of the night, because I just wanted to see where it would go. And I actually, as I'm thinking about it, I think this may have been the one. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I believe I picked Naomi to go over. As I'm thinking about it.
You did. Well, no. Wait. Hold on. Let me no.
I don't think I picked Jade.
No, you picked. I picked Naomi, and you picked Jade. Wait a minute, no, because Jade won.
I think I picked Naomi.
You had to pick Naomi, yeah, because I picked Jade.
You had to pick Jade.
If I was undefeated, I had to pick Jade. So yeah, you had to pick Naomi because our reasons were along the same lines but different. Because I was saying that Jade needed to win in order to keep the storyline going. But you said Naomi needed to win, so she,
to protect her character and the momentum.
Yeah, but I was saying Jade needed to win because it would keep the storyline going, and it would give Naomi a reason to still be pissed off at her to keep the storyline going.
So that means this was the match that did me in. God dang it, Jade Cargill. Now I was anticipating this match, looking forward to how it would unfold. But I was not happy with Jade Cargill's performance. I don't know how you felt about it, but she did not look WWE seasoned in that match.
She's not going to be anytime soon. That takes time. And
it takes time, but she's had time.
And she hasn't been. She hasn't had that much time. I mean,
about a year.
Yeah, but how much of that year has she actually been wrestling?
Oh yeah. Maybe she shouldn't have took that time off for Christmas. Hey, she wouldn't have gotten to the windshield. I don't know. I didn't get what I wanted out of it.
Maybe she's not that teachable.
You trying to give that AEW Mark that was saying that stuff when she came over credit?
I mean, maybe there may be some truth to it. I mean, like you said, she's been in for a year. She hasn't really been wrestling that much. And you haven't really heard about her doing too much in the PC Performance Center. So,
do you think she should wrestle as a big, pardon the expression, but a big man instead of a powerhouse?
You mean
wrestle as
like a Megan Bain versus a Megan Bain versus a Nia Jax?
Something like that, yeah. She's wrestling like a Kevin Nash, or where it's big deliberate moves versus trying to keep the pace, for lack of a better term. I think if she wrestles, the way Omos should wrestle, the moves are deliberate. It's slower. It's a lot more submissions, and even though it would get on my nerves a lot from time to time, but that big knee from Kevin Nash in the corner that he did like 48 times, it was still deliberate to set up for the jackknife powerball, because it was just in your gut over and over, taking your wind out and everything else. I think they're trying to have her wrestle like a Bailey. For that type of pace.
They're trying to make her wrestle like pretty much any female in the WWE.
That's what I'm asking. Should she not do that and wrestle as a big person?
It would be different. Because even Nia Jax has a little doesn't wrestle as that big style that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But she's big. She could.
She
doesn't.
Right. But it makes sense for her because, like with Ivar, isn't Ivar the bigger one from the Viking Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching him move, the way he did, or Vader, or the Natural Disasters, who just became Hall of Fame inductees. Watching them wrestle.
Don't give that to Fred Ottman. He ain't that swift of foot.
But he was agile.
He wasn't that agile under that Shockmaster mask.
No, not it. Hey, that was not
Notice they didn't mention that at all this weekend.
Yeah, that was not his fault.
That was his fault.
No, he had a mask on he couldn't see through, and as
he was
plank
supposed
at the
to
bottom.
go look at that for the set first before he got out there. I'm sorry. That was on him.
Yeah. Jesse says she should wrestle like she was in AEW. You know, that'd be I guess technically
she kind of
was
is. She kind of is. She kind of is. I mean, that's what brought her to the dance. So, I mean,
but Naomi looked good. She looked strong. That's why I was like, man, I hope she wins.
Now Naomi picked up some things in TNA.
Yeah, she
picked up some things when she was away. You know, in wrestling in the independents, she kind of picked up some stuff because she started training with some other folks outside of WWE, so she was able to expand her kind of moveset. So so she's bringing some of that stuff finally to the table.
I just think she's got a character finally. She's got somebody we can believe in, somebody we can understand. That's what excites me.
I know she rocking that Stephanie Mills wig though.
Oh, she was killing. Woo, boy.
That black curly one, the afro one. Oh yeah, that one. She rocking that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was all right.
Hey man, she's married.
And
no, just saying. Just saying. You know, just wanted to make sure you knew. I wasn't sure if you got the memo.
Hey, look. All I gotta do is call Gunther.
You gonna slide up in them DMs?
We already know what happens when he gets around Gunther.
Yep. Or you can have KG just go ahead and watch the area and check it out. You know how he is. Just say Jordan Grace over there. He'll go ahead and scope out the joint for you. Make sure you can slide over. Nobody know you coming through. So what would you give that match? I give it a B-.
Yeah, well, I'll give it more of a B.
Okay.
It was a pretty good. It was a pretty good match for the folks that were in it. She's Jade. I'm trying to give Jade grace. You know what I'm saying? Because I want her to do well. I want her to improve. She has improved some since she got there.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell she's picking up some things, but it may be just slow. She's just slow and getting it. I don't know, but yeah, she's gotten better since she first got there.
Yeah, it's just and we talked about it before. It's just a dead space in transition that sometimes the women matches have. And this one where she's just leaned over and, Naomi they were going to do the spot with the moonsault catch. And then it's like, what's happening? Why is she just leaning there waiting? I mean, they did a good job of saying, oh, she was playing possum, stuff like that. But it's like, just weird, just dead space it didn't need to be. But like I said, it wasn't a bad match. It's her second WrestleMania. She's on the card. Naomi definitely deserved to be there. It was good. So then we had the World Tag Team Championships change hands. War Raiders came in as champion, but the New Day did what the New Day does. They took it. And I was not mad at it. I was happy about it. I believe I picked the New Day just because I think we all agreed to the New Day.
Yeah, we all agreed to the New Day.
Yeah. What do you see the New Day going from here? I got a feeling that Big E is not too far away, knocking on wood, keeping fingers crossed and praying and all that stuff. But I got a feeling that this storyline has to culminate with Big E somehow. I don't know if they're giving him to Mania next year, if it's SummerSlam, Survivor Series, but I think there has to be a payoff with Big E somehow. A worst case scenario, he's involved in a match.
Well, I don't see him being involved in any way with the tag team titles. As far as with them,
he could be special guest referee,
maybe,
or he could be in the corner. It wouldn't be Viking Raiders as in the corner, maybe Street Profits.
No, they're on two different shows.
The draft.
The draft is coming, but they got to think. But the Street Profits, they have the titles right now, so You gonna take the titles off of them?
We talked about that yesterday. That's not something we expect longevity with. So, I mean, that's the only team I would think, because, Usos are not in play. So there's nobody else that, would make sense to be able to put that level in there that Big E could pair with.
Well, they're good for putting together two people and throwing a tag team together. So you never know who they're going to put together.
Well, Jesse,
LA Knight's not doing anything right now.
Street Profits Street Profits are not slated. They're slated for SmackDown. But yeah, I'm not expecting them to retain. We'll see what happens, especially with a pissed off Tommaso Ciampa in play.
Street Profits aren't wrestling tomorrow. They're not wrestling till Friday,
which is tragic in itself. But you just talked about the U.S. Championship. Jacob Fatu is our new United States champion. I think we all agreed on that as well. No, KG selected LA Knight, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So Fatu, does he establish a new bloodline? Is he going to be, the new leader? Because Solo has no real role right now. He came out supporting Fatu, but Solo's kind of like backseat. Tama Tonga is just there. Tonga Loa is due back not too long from now.
I believe he's due back in like end of May, June.
Yeah. And then we know we got time on Zilla. Zilla's not coming anytime soon. And Hikuleo is still up in the air.
I think Hikuleo is slated for NXT sometime this summer.
Okay, so that still technically leaves a hole and a void because Roman is solo. And now Roman's in his program with Paul Heyman and all this other stuff. He doesn't have time for a bloodline or anything else. So what do we do with Jacob and Solo?
Well, bloodline is pretty much dead. Because Michael Cole has already announced that the bloodline has ended. The bloodline storyline has ended. So we don't have to worry about the bloodline anymore. And I don't think they're going to be using the name bloodline anymore, either for Solo or for Roman. I mean, other than to reference what had happened in the past. But I would say that they put Solo and Tonga Loa or Tama Tonga together, try to get them the tag titles. Yeah. Let them go after the tag titles.
How long are you going to give Fatu's U.S. run?
I think he's going to go a while. Because to see him, because what's that? So what's
next premium is Backlash.
No, I'm thinking Fatu is Raw, right? The U.S. title is Raw, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts what? That's Andrade.
Yeah, maybe Braun Strowman. Again.
Penta.
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes now, even though because being that he's won that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah.
They could probably put him in even though the Miz is trying to put them together as a tag team, he can still go after a single belt. So yeah, there's a lot of folks you could throw at Jacob.
Unless they draft him to SmackDown. So that could be a thing. Just changing his cool.
They could switch the titles, yeah.
I would like to see him in a program with Nakamura. I think that would be a solid, heavy-hitting, strong style match. They could really do something with that. I wish they wouldn't have had him, Jacob Fatu, defeat Sheamus so quickly or dismiss Sheamus so quickly, because they could have some bangers in a nice little series. Maybe pass the title back.
They could always put that back together,
They can, yeah. But it just has to make sense. But when he, Jacob Fatu destroys Braun Strowman the way he's done, was it 3 times? You know,
we're
moving into rarefied air to where the only thing that would really make sense to be intimidating would be the Wyatt Six. You know, giving him, something to balance and develop his character off of. Because we still have to see where they end up. They'll be drafted, but something's got to happen there. Here's a good question because I know you checked it. I didn't get a chance to check out Stand and Deliver. But Jesse says, watch NXT and have a question. Why is Trick still with NXT? Should he be in the WWE by now? Would you like to take that, Sumo?
He is slated to go to the main roster at sometime this summer. I want to say it's going to be at least sometime maybe before June. That's why they have him losing so much, because you got to go out on your back. So yeah.
They just need to add Booker T to his intro music, just like the oh for Seth Rollins. I'm telling you, he's going to get up there to the main roster. And if you don't hear, oh, yeah, man, it's not going to happen. Something's got to carry that entrance if they keep it the same. If they change the music.
They may change. You know how they do NXT guys when they get to the main roster.
But most of that was Vince's decision. We're dealing with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. They may leave it in because it works.
They may leave. They may. I don't know. They didn't switch Carmelo Hayes. So
yeah.
I mean,
or maybe have Booker T there to do the intro doing PLEs or something. Be on commentary just to help put it over. Carry it from one to the next. I don't know. But in my opinion, Jesse, the reason why is because they have to figure out what Trick Williams will look like without Booker T as part of that entrance. That's the challenge. Because that's, part of his identity. In my opinion. But, going back
to... They're sticking him right in mid. Once he gets to wherever he's going, they're going to stick him right in the mid-card.
Yeah.
Wherever he goes, he'll most likely be opposite of Carmelo. So he'll probably go to SmackDown.
Or maybe they could put them together again. That wouldn't be a bad thing.
Would it, though? I mean, would it be a good thing? It's bad.
They need more tag teams. They need more tag teams.
They need more tag teams, but
desperately.
Being that you don't watch NXT, you didn't see the promo where that was leading up to the this pay-per-view where Javon Evans was saying, "Man, you talking all this stuff, man. You were in my position a year ago."
I seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you talking about you are Carmelo Hayes.
Right.
So, they probably don't want
he's become the gatekeeper.
Yeah. So they probably don't want to put them two together like that,
But you got to think that was a good promo for NXT. And the main roster, Carmelo could be like, "Look, Miz, I don't know about this." And then Melo drops down and leaves Miz in the ring to finish the match with whomever. And then Miz is like, "What's going on?" And then here comes Trick Williams. We're like, "Hey, I got my boy with me now. We're going after the championships." They've also called back to, a team and kind of glossed over, past indiscretions and stuff like that and act like it didn't happen. The glory of sports entertainment. But let's talk about this next match. It's the one that at one point it was deemed, I think you said it, that was the bathroom match. But now it turned the tide to where I picked a different opponent to win. I went from Charlotte as my main to Tiffany Stratton. And then after this match, I got the win. I picked the right person. But after this match, I picked the right person. because Charlotte, I don't know, man. I just wasn't getting Charlotte out of that. What I mean, let me know if you saw something different, but I didn't see Charlotte in that match. I saw a great female wrestler, but I didn't see Charlotte Flair. There was no identity there. And Tiffany Stratton is vanilla. So that was no, she still got a ways to go to get to that Roman Reigns expression level. But when she gets there and her motions are deliberate and they're calculated, and she knows when to milk the crowd and milk the moment, she's going to be phenomenal. We're not there yet. But I didn't get what I needed out of Charlotte to even make me reconsider, like, maybe I should have picked Charlotte.
Come on, I mean, just like you was talking about Jade. I mean, Tiffany's been in WWE what, for 4 years now, they said?
Mm-hmm.
2 of those were in NXT, and she's only been in WWE maybe what? The main roster, what, a year and a half, maybe?
Yeah, about a year.
So, I mean, she's still got some learning to do, too.
Apparently, Jesse has no love for Charlotte Flair. Says she needs to go packing, go back home, hang out, eat some bonbons, watch some TV, do whatever.
Well, I mean, a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people. I mean, every time Charlotte comes back, she gets the belt back. They give her the belt back. I mean,
but we know why they're trying to get it to that number.
This is one of the few times where she's come back from a so-called injury or some kind of hiatus or whatever, and she didn't get the belt back right away. So, yeah, people are tired of her. People are tired of just giving her the belt whenever, they feel like giving it to her.
All right, let me ask you this, and it's going to sound really weird what I'm about to ask you. Should Charlotte turn heel?
Charlotte is heel.
That's why I said it was going to sound really weird. Does this look like what we had tonight, heel Charlotte, or 2 years ago, Charlotte? Which one would you rather see? Which one was real heel?
Which one was real heel between today and 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago was the real heel.
Right. So should she turn heel? Should she go back to that? Just embrace the hate, like Logan Paul level, just a stupid hate. But yet the presence, the pomp and circumstance, everything, the promos, it was just, you wanted her to lose, but yet she was just so good with the championship. You kind of enjoyed the promo.
But see, the thing is, she doesn't have to be now. Because like I was saying before, she's more of a gatekeeper, a mentor now. So she just needs to go along with the flow with whoever she needs to be, with whoever she needs to deal with.
Is it kind of hard to mentor somebody and gatekeep somebody if they're wearing the same outfit? Why the heck? Think about that.
Hey, that was kind of the theme with the whole night, pretty much. Because think about it. If you look at it, a lot of people were wearing a lot of wrestlers were wearing the same colors in their matches tonight.
Yeah, but those two specifically have worn two versions. It's almost like they want to keep, here's the comparison, old versus new, over even down to, I don't know if you noticed, the makeup. Charlotte, for the first time at a WrestleMania, was not fully done makeup-wise. She was more naturally done versus, the lashes, the nails, the foundation. I mean, you could tell Tiffany was well done up. Charlotte was naturally, toned down. They put two comparisons together, and it was just weird. And I don't understand why they're doing that. Unless Charlotte's talking about she may be retiring or something. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, think about how long she's been in.
Yeah.
For somebody who didn't necessarily want to do this in the beginning, for somebody who's only really doing it because of the memory of her brother,
mm-hmm.
It may be that time. I mean, that interview that she did with Wade Barrett, it was very telling.
Yeah.
You know, she just got to the point during that interview where she was just like, you know, why am I doing this?
Right.
You know, she didn't necessarily say it, but it was just in her mannerisms, in her body language and whatnot, and just the way she was just, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it may be coming to that, especially when you got your dad going on. Your dad going on X talking about it's not a matter of wins or losses.
He still want to hold the number. Don't play fair to him. He's got, you know, he's got a couple things at this time of his career. He's only got a couple things that he can hold on to, and it's the number and the talking. Everybody wants to hear Flair talk, and he's going to talk about the number. If that number is taken away, that takes him down to one thing. That's like the sands of the hourglass just slowly but surely pouring out of a cracked hourglass. Eventually, there's no more time. Then you just become part of history. And I don't think Flair wants to transition to that. And I think Charlotte is just trying to get there to at least keep the name there. But that means technically she'll need what? 3 more to go? Because she 14 time?
Yeah, she would have been 15 tonight if she'd have won.
So actually, she'll need 4 in the next 2 years. She needs to be a champion 4 times to be able to hit the 18 if Super Cena goes over. And then she can tap.
But see, then again, that goes back to a conversation that we had some time ago. You know, which one do you think is more relevant? A title reign that lasts 4 years, or 10 different title reigns?
But see, for this scenario, it will be the number, just because of the lineage and the name.
I'm just saying in general.
I know what you're saying, but you know, the length of time normally to me was the thing that matters the most, because you're established as a champion. You're seen. You're carrying a company. You know, that is your baby. You are the one. You're the guy or the gal. But when we're talking about the Flair name, it's the number. Because Flair is already synonymous with being world champion. So you just immediately think Flair, champion. But how many time world champion? And nobody goes like, well, if you 16 times, that means you lost 15. That's not the thought process that comes in.
No, actually, you lost 16 too because you don't have it currently.
Well, yeah, technically, yeah. But, you know, that's not the thought process. We expect you to be champion. You've carried yourself as champion. You promote as champion. We've seen you have the championship. But how many championships, how many times? You know, it's the number for them. Just that scenario, it's the number. Anybody else? They can't take that, in my opinion, can't take that claim. But we'll see. I mean, I want to see her get it, but I also want to see Randy Orton get it too. He deserves it. And, you know, maybe somebody we don't see, I think they should get it as well. All right, so one more match, and then we'll talk about the one. So we know about the ending, you know, starting from the beginning of the show with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. But what did you think of the match? The story that they told. Roman's entrance was fire. I was just hoping, like, man, don't let that stuff drop on his head. But, you know, just seeing the Anoa'i family, you know, dropping down behind him, and, you know, as he's walking down, it was like that was a serious entrance.
Well, all 3 entrances were nice. I mean,
yeah.
You know, with the
living color and
switch from black to white for Seth, and the flamethrower and him burning down the background and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the pictures, like you said, with Roman and in living color being there to play in CM Punk. You know, the entrance. It was a main event. It was a main event entrance for all three of them.
Yeah, big fight feel.
Yeah, so that was cool. I mean, the story that they told during the match was good. A lot of false finishes, as you kind of expected.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and there was no love lost. There was no team ups. There was temporary team ups. Everything was just deliberately, we're out for self. Everybody got to shine, and then it gave you a good ending that we knew was coming. It's just how were they going to construct it?
And Heyman did not get involved until he absolutely needed to.
Had to, yep.
So he absolutely had to. So yeah.
And we finally got to see the new tables breakdown. Which I could have swore I saw Velcro on the sides when it collapsed. I'm like, is that Velcro?
No, it's just pins. They're just pins that keep that. They have these pins that they pull. Even on the old tables, it was the same way. They're pins that they pull. They're pins that they pull out so that when it was time for it to be collapsed and whatnot, they just pull those pins and wait for the spot to happen.
Okay, behind the curtain, you just ruined kayfabe. But
hey, kayfabe's been dead. Plus, they'd already explained that years ago.
Yeah.
So, man, it's public knowledge for those who look for it.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about the first match, the match that set the tone for the night, and the interesting finish. I wanted to get your thoughts on. Jey Uso beat Gunther to become the world heavyweight champion. But he did it by submission. What were you thinking about that when you saw Gunther tap? Should have been submission or should have been a pin?
I'm not saying it shouldn't have been a submission. I just wasn't expecting it.
Right.
Because I've never seen Jey Uso use a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to use that, I mean, I'm sure he did it as part of storyline because that's what he did to Jimmy. But it just wasn't something I was expecting. I was expecting him to get the pin off of the splashes.
Right.
But for him to tap out to the sleeper, I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the way it ended. I'm glad Jay won though, because that's going to lead to tomorrow night. What happens with tomorrow night, in my opinion. But yeah, and for Jimmy to come out at the end and to celebrate with him, that was cool. So yeah, I mean it was a great way to start the match, start the card. I think.
Do you think that Gunther should get the obligatory rematch on the Monday night after WrestleMania, or should they just be like done? Gunther, you go take a little vacay. Come back a little bit later, and then we can revisit this.
Well,
let them have the rematch.
Being that there are technically no rematches, automatic rematches in the WWE.
That authority rule ended a long time ago.
Technically,
body authority. It's like, how the heck?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could happen. Jay gets another win, or they figure out some kind of way to have Jay win. I got a feeling I know how, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't want to speak on that too much.
Yeah, that is a thought, Jesse, about the longevity of this title reign for Jay. Now, I don't think it's going to be next week. I think he's at least good for Backlash and maybe SummerSlam. Because that SummerSlam, if you think about it, is what, 3 months away? It's 12 Monday nights. Not that long. He's got to do his tour as the champion. Why? Because that's more money. That's a new T-shirt that's guaranteed to sell out in
Yeah,
every
see,
venue.
the reason why they putting this belt on him is because he's like number 1, number 2 in merch sales
over Austin 316.
Right. So he's making them money,
Mm-hmm.
and he's selling tickets because people are coming to see him. He's putting butts in seats.
I would love to see the numbers for the plates, the side plates, because I know those side plates have got to just be selling out hand over fist, especially tonight. So yeah, it's a money thing. At least 6 months before they figure out who's going to come after him, and it
now
could
let
be
me
Randy
ask you
Orton.
this: do you think he gives Jimmy a shot?
I was expecting Jimmy to turn.
No, I wasn't expecting Jimmy to turn
because you might as well.
It would be easy to do, being that he got mollywopped like he did by the Gunther.
Yep. Jealousy.
You just stood there. You let him do that to me. You didn't, But
only reason why I would want to see it is because him and Naomi could be in the same promo, cutting the same promo, but just two different genders.
Nah, I don't think that would happen. I don't think they would do that.
What? You don't think? Why not?
I just don't.
Come on now. They just sit next to each other, just bitter. Especially the Monday night after. He cut his promo on his brother, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Jade. Come on now. I think that'd be pretty hot." Had the cautious stuff in the background. I think that'd be pretty hot, especially since they just nerfed Naomi. So now she's like, whatever. She's got to be involved in tomorrow night just to stay viable. She's
gonna help. She's gonna help Bianca win
or lose.
That's why I picked Bianca.
Well, we'll see. Tomorrow night, you may be undefeated now, or as Bianca would say, undefeated.
Right.
But come tomorrow, you may be catching a couple L's there, sir.
That's okay. We'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow gets here.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So I hope you're ready. Too bad KG's out there stalking Jordan Grace and all that stuff. It'd been nice if he could have joined us tonight, but we know he's just delivering to the same house over and over and over. He needs to stop sending us those daggone pictures of Jordan Grace. Like, God dang, dude. At least take some pictures.
I thought he was behind on his OnlyFans content.
Well, I mean, that he switched over to ankles now. The feet thing, it kind of ran its course. Now he's showing cankles and ankles. That's his whole thing on OnlyFans now. So if you're in the cankles and ankles, they may be ashy or they may be well oiled one way or another. You see KG, he got you. And maybe some elbows, All right, just a couple comments there. Sam said 7 months of holding the belt. So, about the same time frame. So we'll see how that plays out. So we're not going to hang out too long tonight because Lord knows it's been a long night. And if any of you stayed up late for, like myself, for the Hall of Fame, which was basically you went to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, yeah. They trying to kill us this year.
5 o'clock in the morning for 5 o'clock in the morning to finish up with Triple H for his 1 hour and 7 minute speech.
I mean, it was entertaining, though. I'll give it to him. It was entertaining. And
then they start the pre-show for the NXT at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a lot. They wore us down, but it's only fair because how many times have we had WrestleMania on the East Coast and then they screwed out or on Central and the West, so it's about fair. Sorry about that cereal, Sam, but it's a thing.
Oh, but hey, there's some other things we got to discuss now because first of all, that if we don't, I mean, I know you probably didn't watch it, but the NXT.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead and recap.
It was pretty
NXT.
good. It was pretty good. Ricky Starks retained his belt. There was a you asked me last night about Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. They were in the match. They had a match during the pre-show. Okay. It was a 4-way for the number 1 contendership to Liv and Raquel.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And they were in it. Well, Roxanne Perez was teamed up with Cora Jade. Who else? It was a team from Fatal Attraction. JC Jade and I forget what the other girl's name was. And then the winners of it was Tegan Knox. No, not Tegan Knox. The other girl, the one that went to the team that goes to TNA a lot. I can't think of Tatum Paxley.
Oh, okay. And Gigi Dolan.
Yeah, they wound up winning.
They went off the sex appeal. That's all they doing.
So yeah, and they had Shotzi. They had Shotzi with them.
Oh,
so Lord, they were talking about they had something going on talking about it might be Bailey and we might have to go up against Bailey and Lyra Valkyria, and Lyra's my friend, and she was like, well, hey, this is for the title. Like, well, right. Yeah, you're right. But then, like I said, Ricky Starks wound up retaining. They had a 6-man match with Dark State versus the D'Angelo family.
Okay.
And Stax, the underboss, wound up turning on Tony D'Angelo.
Really? After the match or during?
During the match.
Wow.
During the match, which caused them to lose because they wound up putting their finisher on Tony, and afterwards, Luca wound up running after Stax while he was trying to get in the car and get away. He was like, "What are you doing? Why did you do that?" He was like, "I'll explain everything Tuesday, but just make sure you're around because we need to talk about it."
Okay.
So I guess he's trying to take over the family, or he's going to try to break off with him to start his own family, or whatever the case may be. So there's that. In the 6-way, there was a 6-way match for the Women's North American Championship, which was vacated by Stephanie Vacour
for no reason.
For no, pretty much the same thing they did with our boy Keith Lee.
Yep.
But at least with her, they let her defend both titles first before she gave up the belts.
Right.
Because he just won the belts and then gave up one. It was like, whatever. So there was a 6-way for that, and Saul Ruka wound up winning the belt. So it was a ladder match.
Yeah.
So she wound up winning the belt, so she's the new champion. And then there were a couple of others that I can't remember, but they weren't that memorable.
Well, let's go to the main event. That's what we really want to hear.
But the main event was Javon Evans versus Trick Williams versus Obafemi for the NXT Championship. And yes, as I said, as I predicted, it was extra saucy, extra spicy, extra sassy. I mean, he put a little something. He put a little extra stank on that bop today. He did exactly what I said he was going to do. From the time he walked out to the time he got to the ring.
Just for you.
Bopping.
Bafa.
But it was a good match. It was a very good match, actually. It was a very good match. there were a lot of spots where you thought Javon Evans was going to win, of which I thought he was going to end up winning it from the beginning. I was gonna if we'd have made picks on that match, I would have picked Javon Evans to win.
Wow.
But Obafemi wound up winning the match at the end. He wound up pinning Javon Evans.
Really?
Yeah. Trick Williams was on the outside looking in. Was on the outside of the ring looking in when the pin happened. So like Jesse was saying, it's just a matter of time before they decide to send Trick to the main roster. It's just a matter of when, not if. So, but it was a good way to start off the WrestleMania weekend. You know, as far as matches are concerned. I look forward to Tuesday for the fallout. See what's going to happen, because you got to figure out who's going to be the next contender for Obafemi. You got to figure out what's going to happen with the D'Angelo family.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see if they're going to put Javon Evans in a singles, have him continue with Obafemi, or see what happens with Trick. And
I think they have to have him with Oba, because he's still got a claim, typical thing. Hey, I could have beat you if I didn't have another person in the match. There was a point in the match, you were down and I could have got the 3 count, but then here come Trick getting involved, one-on-one, I got you. So, they can still do something with that. And technically Trick can say the same thing. And
then, of course, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. WWE has now acquired AAA.
Yep. Lucha.
Now, it's funny to me because there was always that little thing between AAA and CMLL and AEW, because AEW wanted to use both of them. Mm-hmm. And I know AEW or AAA and CMLL don't get along. They don't want to work with each other. So they were going to, and CMLL was going to say, it's either us or them, make your choice.
Right.
So, I mean, but Jeff Jarrett has a relationship with AAA. And a lot of the wrestlers that they were using at that time, Penta, Ray Phoenix, Commander, Gravity, the Beast Mortos, Roosh. A lot of those guys came out of AAA.
Yep.
They had some of them had some relationship with CMLL, because actually, Los Ingobernables started in CMLL, so that's where Roosh came from.
Okay.
Roosh and all of his family members came from. So, with the acquisition, but see, my thing is with the acquisition of AAA to WWE, will this change AAA as we know it?
I don't think so.
Because there's a lot of things that are going on in AAA that's not going to translate well in the United States.
Right. I think it's just an asset to give them another thing, because they see the value. Penta came through as I would call it a gamble. We want him, but we didn't know exactly that he was going to turn right around and be, a number top 5 in merchandise sales. That was kind of unexpected as quickly as it was. He went from 0 to, oh my gosh. Then Ray Phoenix comes in and matches Penta in merch sales. So there's a viable market in that. We know that Rey Mysterio, has been carrying that market on his back for a long time when it comes down to merch sales, because he was really the one. But now, using this Grande Americano angle and everything else, they've got a lifeline into a whole nother world of talent that they can mix and match in NXT. They could do some things in a better way that Tony Khan still hasn't figured out. AEW brings people in and doesn't give them a backstory, doesn't really break it down. I think I mentioned it yesterday. You just have Excalibur breaking down this person's life story while you're watching the match. But the fans that are there live don't hear that. So they don't know who Emi Shakur is or Riho or, whoever else they bring it in. They're just like, all right, it's just a match that's going on. But the WWE can sprinkle these folks in to NXT and give them some, some texture and sprinkle them in, to a Raw SmackDown after that and do some things at a more better productive scale. Can you imagine some of the top superstars from AAA in the Royal Rumble?
Oh, AEW's already pissed off because they already got Vikingo on WWE television.
They should have went ahead and gave him Sting.
And then on top of that, you got folks like Psycho Clown, who's like the John Cena of AAA. For those who don't know, you got Vampiro, who's retired pretty much, but he still has a presence within AAA. Then
that's a homecoming.
He can show up.
At least on the WCW side,
he can show up in NXT. Conan.
Yep.
Conan still has a relationship with AAA. He's like one of their bookers or whatnot. He still deals with them a lot. We already talked about Vikingo. You just got the latest incarnation of La Parka coming back. Dr. Wagner, who's very popular over there, could come over and do some things within AEW. But don't let them bring La Toxicas back over the end. Ooh. Woo! I didn't work on that one.
That man just start gyrating over there. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. Calm down. Take it down a notch.
Clutch the pearls on that one. Oh my God. I didn't think about that until just now. La Toxicas, La Hereda. Oh, coming into NXT. La Hereda versus Nikita Lyons.
Got this man rolling his R's.
Booty, rocket everywhere.
So, yeah. Interesting. Only thing, worlds collide. Somebody need to get paid for that. Just saying. Another one, the most recent thing.
Like they said when they made the announcement, there was a worlds collide decades ago. So
it's been almost a decade since we've been talking about it. But potatoes. Either way, KG's panties are in a bunch. He's still upset about it. But hey, once again, Tony Khan missing the boat. WWE sliding that up. And then I don't know if you heard the rumor that NXT UK is something that is in development as well. So there'll be a performance center over there that could lead to NXT UK coming back.
Well, NXT
so that's
UK,
a whole other thing.
NXT UK, NXT Mexico.
Yep.
NXT Japan.
NXT Saudi Arabia.
So yeah, it's a lot. They're
making their own territories.
They world expansion. All this can go through the ID program.
Yep.
If they wanted to.
Oh yeah, there's so much going on. It is ridiculous and awesome. But man, they're just making moves. Unfortunately, their stock is so expensive. It's like, God dang, trying to get in on it. The profit is a little rough.
But again, though, are they going back to my original question? Are they going to make any changes to the product as it is?
I think it's a cultural thing. They can't change it.
I hope they don't, because
but
there are some things that would not, if they try to bring if they try to bring that type of programming,
you can't.
Their programming to the United States, it's not going to translate. because
they could just give them the rub on Netflix.
They have the minis.
Mm-hmm.
They have the exoticas, which are the transgenders or the transsexuals,
Mm-hmm.
the cross dressers, or however you want to put it. You know, so I mean, I don't, you know, I hope they leave the product as it is in Mexico, and they just bring people over that they want to use.
Yeah,
you know, and not try to change, not try to recreate Black Saturday in Mexico.
Yep. Yeah, it needs to stay the same. Like I said, it's for the culture.
If they want to do WWE programming in Mexico, send their programming over, but don't change what AAA is.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It needs to stay the way it is for Mexico.
Agreed.
But like you said, we'll see. We don't know what's on their mind or what they have in mind for that.
Yeah, it's fresh off the boat, so you know we'll give them time. We'll know, I'd say, by late summer, whatever they're looking to do after everything is closed. But I do think it's interesting that JBL slid through there quite a few times, so I'm quite sure he was a negotiator. Having some conversation.
Now the JBL,
mm-hmm.
the JBL appearances kind of make sense.
Yep, just out of nowhere for no reason. Like Jeff Jarrett, you wouldn't bat an eye. Like whatever, he's been through that. But JBL, like yeah, that was smart. They had an undercover brother out there putting that work in. All we need is Ron Simmons. Like they done bought AAA. Damn. That's how that goes. That's exactly what Tony Khan is thinking. Damn. One up me again. You already had me change my times for a pay-per-view. Now they over here taking another feeder area. What's next? They gonna start sponsoring New Japan product? Yep.
It's coming.
Yep.
It's coming. They're trying to get a relationship with New Japan. I mean,
AAA's
somebody from over there. I mean, they already got a guy from Noah in NXT.
Mm-hmm. Just wait. You see JBL over there talking to Taka Michinoku, you know what's about to go down. It's like, oh, here it come. Here it come. The expansion is real. They taking everything. Got that going. WWE. Paul Mooney was right. They just take. They'll probably give back our truth though. But they take. So
they may take somebody small like a DDT or Dragon Gate.
Yeah, just to get their foot in the door.
Or maybe but as long as they can get within that conglomerate. Once they get attached to that conglomerate that I talked about a few months ago, where all the Japanese companies got together in one conglomerate to kind of share information and to try to build up each other within to build up Japanese wrestling.
Yep.
If they can find a way to get their foot inside that door, then yeah, they good. They good for once they get in with one, they in with all of them.
Yep. So that'll be the key. But we'll see what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and pull a Gunther and tap out. I know it's tragic to say those two words together, or those two phrases together. But that's what happened. So we're gonna own it. We're gonna accept it, and then we're gonna let you go back into the wilderness. Happy Easter if you celebrate Easter.
Happy 420.
Happy 420. And more importantly, happy WrestleMania weekend. We'll be talking to you.
And make sure y'all tune in if you can to the race tomorrow, because the Infinity Series is going to be in Rockingham, North Carolina for the first time in decades. So y'all can watch, y'all can open up a cold Coors Light, watch them wheels go, watch them cars go round and round the track.
Yeah,
left hand turn.
May even see a tomato out there. Look at NASCAR. Goddamn. So make sure y'all diversify. Make sure y'all diversify your bonds.
Beat you wild bitches.